Hey, 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 it is July. What you doing on the way over there? It is July 28th. The big thing is what year? July 28th, 2023. And that's what we got. Be nice if I turn the comments on. Mr. Camera Junkie, hi, how you doing? I didn't expect you to be in here first tonight. How are you doing? And we got Scotty. Thank God it's Friday. Let's celebrate. Let's celebrate Simon's birthday. It's Simon's birthday? Really? Simon, ordinary filmmaker? I didn't know that. With some hot fudge, ice cream cake, whipped cream, and cherries. Cherries on top. You know the bottles, you guys. I know some of you guys are not shoppers. Okay, but there was bottle first. Let's say hi, Mr. Junkie. Hi, everybody. How you doing, Lewis? How you doing, Aiden? How you doing, Scotty? Good to see you, Scotty. And if I can click on Scotty, I would get to see him. Thank God it's Friday. Yes. Thank you. It's Friday. I got my nice cup of warm tea. I don't know how I wound up with this tea, but this tea reminds me of a Sony A7c Mark II. That's as good of a segue as I could do. So we do have rumors starting to roll of not one, but two Sony cameras. The A7c Mark II and the A7C-R. It doesn't have a Mark II because there never was an A7C-R. So right in the middle of summer, when you'd think it would be quiet, I better put this tea down. I'm going to drink the whole thing and not say anything. Hey, 181 uplift. There we go. Uplift. There we go. Nikon, how you doing? And we have a couple of rumors that are rolling around right in the middle, smack dab, well, a little bit past the middle of summer 2023. Doesn't it make you suspicious of those rumors? I mean, seriously, who would come up with rumors now? So, but good to see you, 181 Uplift, and Eric is here. Hi, everybody, and Scotty is here. Hi, Eric, how are you doing? I love you. Seems like it was just December 31st, 1999. Y2 Meltdown. Y2 Meltdown. No, you didn't answer me. Somebody said it was Simon's birthday. Who said that? If it's Simon's birthday, I need to sing Simon a happy birthday song. Did I see it, or was I actually dreaming it? No, Scotty said that. Scotty said it right here. Let's celebrate Simon's birthday. Put your hands in the air. So is today Simon's birthday, or is it this week, or is it this weekend? Happy birthday, Simon. Happy birthday, Simon. I'm gonna have to put the reverb on and do a happy birthday song. So Eric is saying hi. And 23 years ago, Scotty, it was 1999. So Jim Monday is here. Good evening. Did you survive the week? Did you survive this week, Jim? Good evening, Peter, and everybody. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. Happy Friday. So you did your first week. I was going to say, Jerry. Oh, wait. I was, but I was too chicken. You ever get chicken? Simon is pumping out the cameras lately. I just got the ZV E1. So you got the E1? Congratulations. That is a wonderful camera. It's my first Sony. Okay. So what did you get? Let me tell you what you got. Okay. You got a lot of new stuff in that Sony that hasn't been there before. So if this is your first Sony, unless you've actually picked one up and played with it before, you were not able to tap on the back on the LCD screen to go through your menus. You can do that. you were not able to tap on the LCD to change your f-stop or change your shutter speed, you're able to do that. So we got two really, really awesome things going on in that camera. So the ZV, no, not ZV, the A7C was one of my favorites and still is one of my favorite cameras. So Sly actually woke me up to the matter of weight, because I have taken this camera right here out and walked around in the backyard. And if you want to be out and about a little bit and you want to record yourself a little bit, let's say you want to do some, might not be A-roll, so it might be B-roll where you're holding the camera up, the weight of these cameras do matter. And Sly tells me on the phone over and over and over, but that weighs so much. And I'm thinking like, oh, man up, Sly. Grow a pair, girl. You know, it's a camera. It's going to have some weight to it. But then when I started walking around with the Panasonic S52, this wound up back in my hands again. Oh, Woody's here. Woody is here. And Jerry, I picked up the 20mm 1.8 with it. Any suggestions on another lens I should get? Okay, so this is an interesting topic. And that's got to be addicting or something, honestly. And it's just tea. It's hibiscus tea with some heavy cream and some monk fruit, because everything I eat has to be sweet. All right, so the Sigma, Jerry, listen, Jerry, okay. So the Sigma 17mm f4, it's an f4, okay, which makes it go like, oh, I don't want an f4. But look at the weight on that camera. As a matter of fact, look at the weight of the camera for the A7C. And let's hope the A7C Mark II and the A7C R are similar in weight. It's one of the lightest cameras you can get. Where the E1, look at the weight of that. So if there's anybody here willing to look it up on B&H, go to B&H.com. Use one of my links. It's a perfect segue. Oh, I almost screwed it up. Please use my links. They do track who is sending them traffic. I want them to know I'm sending ADORAMA traffic. I am sending B&H traffic. So in the description under the video, okay, go to the ADORAMA link for any camera. It doesn't matter what it is, okay? Then they've registered that you came from here. And cha-ching! They don't pay me anything unless you buy something, okay? And then put in the search the A7C. And see the weight on the A7C. It's one of the lightest cameras. It's a full-frame camera. It's got crappy image stabilization in it. It's not that good, but there is some workarounds, okay? We'll get to that. So I'm hoping that they can keep the A7C Mark II at that light weight. Now, the lens that you just picked up, Jerry, which one did you say you picked up? Let's see. He also picked up, and I'll bet you didn't use my link. I'll bet you a nickel. I'll bet you a penny you didn't use my links. That does put money into my account, in case you didn't know, okay? Not a lot, so don't feel bad, okay? This is not meant to make you feel bad. But you guys, if you're going to buy something, pick whoever your favorite YouTuber is. It could be Sly. It could be Randy. It could be, I see Tom has made a hello, okay? It could be Tom. Use their links, because it gets registered that we sent you there. And when you use the link, they drop us a few bucks. And over time, that adds up a little bit, okay? So do a combined weight of the 20 millimeter 1.8 with the A7C. Now let's hope the A7C Mark II is going to have that same low weight, because it's actually one of the best cameras as a tote around camera. Okay. Now I know some of you guys might say, I don't really care how much a camera weighs. You will eventually, unless you got incredibly strong muscles. Okay. So, which apparently I don't have. I didn't know it until I started to carry the S52 around. Eric is saying the job that I applied for is a job that I'm interested in. It's a full-time job and it pays a little more than I have. It's a school photographer. I love being around kids. Kids just are so youthful and they're so spontaneous and they're so surprising. And it's wonderful to see them become little men and little women. And it's just one of the most exciting things to watch. Especially, it's like, I never expected that out of you. And yet, it comes out of them. Okay? So it's absolutely a excellent thing to do. So getting a job in a school, you didn't say if it was a high school or what. Okay? But that's exciting. Tom, I thought you didn't love me anymore, Tom, and that you went off on your own, and I have been left in the sand. Well, is that the right saying? So, hi, Peter and everybody. It's been a while, but wow, the stream looks great. The colors on the Panasonic really pop. Well, I took matters into my own hands. Okay, honest to God. I got the camera tuned in. If you watched last week for just a few minutes, it looks good, all right? But I didn't want just good. I wanted fantabulous. So I made my own LUT. So this is Peter Greg LUT. It will be for sale maybe in 5 or 10 years when I get around to it. I should make a LUT pack for this camera. So I made my own LUT, and now the camera is set to Vlog. And I am using the LUT that I created. Where did I create this LUT? What is a LUT, Peter? You don't know what a LUT is? Seriously? Well, you know, LUT does stand for something. It stands for lookup table. But that's not what it really is, okay? I have to have another sip of this tea. It is fabulous. Oh, my God. And it's nice and warm. And it's fantastic. So this is called the Peter Greg S5 Mark II LUT 21. So you go, Peter, why did you come up with LUT 21? Because there was 20 before this one. That's how long it takes to tune this crap in, guys. It really takes that long, okay? So it's just what it takes. So good to see you here, Tom. Say hi to Heather for me. I hope you guys are doing good. I know when I make bread again, you get a loaf of bread. I do know that. I haven't made bread in a while because I'm down to about 150 pounds. So I'm trying to not tempt myself, but I will make it eventually. There's a few people I have to make it for. So Mr. Camera Junkie is saying hi to Tom Buck. Oh, it'll be more than one school, right, Eric? It'll probably be elementary and high schools in my area. If you land that job, it's going to be a very sweet job. And that A7C, well, you got cameras. But, you know, sometimes people don't like a big camera in their face, especially elementary school and high schools and junior or middle, what do they call them these days? So I'm excited about the A7C Mark II. So here's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping the weight is very similar. And I would either go with the lens that Jerry picked out, which is a 20 millimeter 1.8, or the 17 millimeter Sigma f4. There's quite a bit of a difference. But the A7C, if the A7C Mark II follows through, is one of the cleanest cameras out there. It really is. And not this one, but the S52 It's got dual ISO, so at 4,000, I'm starting all over, brand new. So, but I am looking at the 18 millimeter as my favorite lens. I'm looking at the 18 millimeter Panasonic 1.8 lens. So I think you hit the sweet spot there, Jerry. So I was saying hi to Tom, telling him to say hi to Heather. I watched your video on the bags, some kind of a video on camera bags. Nice. You always do good work. So Norm is here. He's here a little bit early. Norm, Merry Christmas, Peter. Good evening, Greggies around the world. Okay, and I love you, Norm. Thanks for being such a good dad. It's appreciated. In case they forget to tell you, thanks for being a good dad. You know, I'm not saying you're perfect. Don't get me wrong. Nobody's perfect. Seriously, I'm the only one. Do you believe that? I got some sand from Miami Beach to sell you. It's cheap, 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 cheap. So thanks for being a good dad, Norm. Sly made it. Hey, Peter and gang. Congratulations to Jerry. That's a great camera. I was just talking about you, Sly, and combo, especially for vlogging. And to Eric, that's a really good, cool job. I hope you get it. I'm on board with whatever Sly said, ditto. Okay? I agree with her. So what we were talking about you behind your back, Sly, is the weight. The lowest weight camera combination you can get of an in-production camera, not something that's an older camera that might be excellent, but it's not being made anymore, is the Sony A7c with one of the 17 or 20 millimeter lens. That's as light as you can get. And it's also a bonus because it's full frame. So we would go into something like the M6 Mark II that Sly has, or maybe the A6700. Now, the A6700 is a camera that's not even out yet. It's from Sony. It's a crop sensor camera. Do you know it's heavier than the A7C, which is a full frame camera and a crop frame camera? So that A7C would be the perfect camera for a lot of people, including Sly, if you were starting over, because most of us in here especially have cameras that already exist. So they're going to take the A7C and they're going to upgrade it. I hope it gets what it really is missing. It's missing. If they could put a good not auto, but a stabilization. It's got one of the top of the line autofocus systems, and it's got a top of the line quality. So it's got a lot of it's like one of those way under the radar, fantabulous cameras, and it's so small it's scary, and it's still fully functional. So with its clear zoom, you get something like the lens that Jerry bought. Jerry bought a 20 millimeter 1.8 lens. So with that 20 millimeter 1.8 lens, he can zoom it in the camera. It's called clear zoom, okay? So he can zoom it in the camera as if it was like a point and shoot electronic zoom. So I'll bet you that's in your E1, Jerry, where on a full frame you can assign a button or learn how to do what's called clear zoom. Don't go into a digital zoom. A digital zoom starts enlarging what you got, okay? Clear zoom does not. Clear zoom will take whatever portion it's taking of the lens. This is in a Sony camera, all right? And it will not enlarge. It will enlarge the area up to the maximum of that sensor. So, and Sony's implementation of clear zoom is one of the best ones, if not the best one out there. So you could take a prime lens, and his prime right now, Jerry's, who is 181 lift, okay, his prime lens will actually zoom between 20 millimeters and 30 millimeters, and no reduction in quality because it's still just enlarging the space that it's using on the sensor. It's not enlarging any of the pixels. Now, digital zoom actually enlarges the pixels. So, good. Jerry's knows about it, and he's telling me. It has a zoom rocker on the camera. Makes it super easy to zoom with. Well, there's two things you can zoom. You can zoom a power zoom lens that Sony makes, but you can also zoom to the clear image zoom. All right. Now, in the settings, if it's still the same, it'll also be a choice of clear image zoom or clear image zoom plus digital or some kind of wording. Okay. But it'll also have a hard stop. It'll kind of like zoom, 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 stop. And then if you keep your finger on the rocker that's on the shutter switch, so that rocker on the shutter switch, which allows you to zoom, it makes the camera really, really handy. Very, very exceptionally handy. Okay. So that is already on the A7c. So the A7c Mark II, I hope they will apply. Here's what I hope does not happen. I hope they don't take the A7c Mark II and bring it down to a 12 megapixel. I think the A7C and I don't know which other one. I think it's the FX3 have 12 megapixel sensors. So I'm hoping they don't go that route. I hope they put a 24, because the A7C right now, I believe, has a 33 megapixel. Randy has an A7C, and he likes that camera a lot. So it's actually a cool camera. The E1 that you bought is I was contemplating that camera before I bought this one here, the S5 Mark II, the S52. And the S52 won out because it's got features on this camera that I still haven't grown into. I mean, it is just an amazing camera. So I bought this one, but I would have been just as happy with what you got, Jerry. And Charles is here. Hello, Peter and friends. I actually got a message from Charles. He's coming to Miami. He probably already is in Miami. He's coming, I don't know, by train, by plane, by RV, by somehow. So, welcome to Miami, Charles. So, Scotty, you never answered me. Whose birthday is it? Simon at Ordinary Filmmaker's birthday. Did you fall asleep, Scott? Did you say hello and then go lay down, take a nap? Norm does that. Randy does that. Who else does that? They just say hi and then it's like out to sleep. So that is what we've got. Now, the other news is the Nikons. So Nikon's got a lot of slots to actually fill up, okay? And they are actually behind. Even though they've got the newest and bluest, one of the best cameras out there, they are also behind, and they're still one of the best camera companies on the market. So the Z8 is one of the few cameras that goes outside of what Sony does and gives you skin smoothing. Now, why did they take a $4,000 camera and put skin softening on it? Okay, it's because I would say more than 50% of the pictures that are taken with all these cameras are people and faces and skin. So Nikon saw to it. Even this one, it doesn't have skin smoothing, but it allows me to have a lot of control in here. And the control happens with the skin, just so you know, all right, on the mid-tones. Okay, so you got the shadows, you got the mid-tones, and you got the highlights. So cameras that actually allow you to acknowledge the midtones, you actually are doing something to accentuate or make. So you notice the skin tones here? I spent a lot of time on this LUT that I made, LUT 21. Okay, the Peter Gregg LUT 21. All right, so I spent a lot of time working on the skin tones. So on this one, the way I'm dealing with the skin tones is there's a couple of roads to get there. Okay, so the way I'm dealing with the skin tones here is with the bumping up the midtones. You do that in Lightroom. When you have a portrait of somebody, you can bump up the midtones and it makes the midtones brighter. So you bring the overall exposure down and you've got smoother skin tones. So the Nikon Z8 has that already built in. So I'm hoping that when they start filling up these gaps, so that they don't have anything. So you've got these different levels. You've got the $1,500 level, the $1,800 level, which are similar, okay? Then you've got the $2,000 level, and that $2,000 level has creeped up to be $2,500. They all said, thank you, I'll have some of that. So when they took the $2,000 $1999 cameras and they moved them up to $2,500. So Nikon's main foray in there is old. It's not up to date. So the Z6 Mark II doesn't have a flippy screen for people that need to see the front of the camera. It doesn't have unlimited recording. What else doesn't it have? It's got an older technology in it, and the same thing for the next level up, the 3000. Okay, the 3000, 3200, 3300, which is the Z7 Mark II. So I'm thinking that the Z6 Mark II is going to get elevated to a Z6 Mark III. The sooner, the better. They're hemorrhaging. People are buying, instead of the A7c Mark II, which is going to be coming out, which I'll bet you dollar to donuts is between $2,000 and $4,000. I'm sorry, $2,000 and $24.99. Okay, so Jerry bought a Sony. So Sony has a new convert onto the their family. All right, it could have been a Nikon, but there's no real contender. So the Z6 Mark III needs to be $2,000 area. Okay, if they try to slide that up and join the $2,500 club, they might very well do that. They need to up their game with the flippy screen. They need to up their game. It needs to have 60 frames per second in 4K, full frame, no crop. That's what the other guys are offering, okay? But the A7 Mark IV is not. The A7 Mark IV is not offering that. They're giving you 60 frames per second, 60p, okay? But it's a crop sensor, which is the same thing that... I don't even think this guy has 60 frames per second in it. So, I mean, what do they have to bring to the table? And so what they need to do is they need to take the Z8, Nikon needs to take the Z8, okay, and they need to take all the 8K crap out of the Z8, all right, and put in it a 24 megapixel sensor and a 47 megapixel sensor. So the Z6 Mark III will be the 24, 26, 28 megapixel sensor. And the Z7 Mark III will be what the Z6 Mark II is now. It'll be the 40-something megapixel sensor. So they need to take that Z8, take all the 8K stuff out of it, and then duplicate something very similar for the $2,000 to $2,500 crowd and for the $3,000 to $3,300 crowd. Then they will have plugged the dam of what other cameras are providing. So you've got Sony is just pouring it on. They're going to come out with an A7C Mark II before the Nikon is even able to bring in something to the game. So the only thing that Nikon has going for it right now is you can get these cameras for $1,000 and under, which makes it a flagship camera at under $1,000. Would you rather have that, or would you rather have for $700 an E10? Well, I'd rather have this camera, okay? It's because, but not at $2,000. I want that camera, the Z6, at $900 and something, all right? So Nikon has a lot of exceptional potential. The Sony, if the A7C Mark II brings in what Jerry's new E1, and Jerry bought the E1, then you've got some good stuff going. So it's actually very exciting in the middle of the summer. That's the part that makes me don't believe that the cameras and these rumor sites have got the accuracy going on. But I hope they're accurate, because Nikon not only needs to fill the gap for the Z6 Mark II, the Z7 Mark II, the Nikon also has a ZVF, which is a remarkable camera. So the ZVF, if they take the ZVF, which is what I used in here a lot, okay, so I took it out and I brought this guy right here. Okay, so that's the EM1 Mark II. I took that out of the kitchen because I need that in here right now. So I put the ZVF in the kitchen. And that camera is an incredible pleasure to use. Stunning pleasure. So there's, it's kind of like what I just said, the shadows, the midtones, and the highlights. These camera companies have been focusing on the shadows in terms of the price point, and the highlights in terms of the price point. The Z8 is $4,000. Okay, the ZVF is under $1,000, but they haven't been tending the field. They haven't been tending their inventory right in the middle, which is the heart of all of it. It's actually where most people would want to go in. So Canon has released the R8, and unfortunately, Canon has actually missed the boat a little bit. And I'm hoping that Nikon and Sony and Canon, I don't want to leave anybody out because this is available for everybody. All right. So the problem that's happening is these cameras are getting better and better and better and better and better. Okay, and because they're getting better, there's more stuff in them. There's more heat that builds up in these cameras. Okay, and they all of them have an overheating problem. They get too warm because, let's say, something like this guy back here, which is the Olympus OMD Mark II, right? Well, it doesn't have what the new cameras have, so it doesn't have the overheating. You know, you go 2015, 2016, we weren't talking that much about overheating. Sony introduced overheating to us, okay, by compacting everything in. Did I? Oh, Woody says it's Nikon ZFC, not ZVF. Yeah, the ZFC. All right, so Woody made a correction on what I was saying. So Nikon has a ZFC, okay? And that camera is the one I'm talking about. That one went to the kitchen, and the Olympus came over here. And they're both doing remarkable. So it's just some of these older cameras are fantabulous, more than fantabulous. So Nikon needs to fill up those holes, okay? Now, what Fuji did, which is a fantastic thing. It's like, hello, it's like somebody invented a car, and instead of it being 3 tires, they made the car 4 tires. It's like, duh, it should have been like that all along. Well, Fuji made it, so I am going to have to correct myself. There needs to be a camera here, and I never have a camera to be able to go grab one. Dang. Okay. Well, these cameras have a flippy screen and they flip out. I got myself angry there. It's like I'm doing a live show. Why don't I have a camera that I can grab? It's like, who's in charge here? Who's the boss? That boss needs to be fired. Let's get rid of this Peter Gregg guy. Okay. So the flippy screen is the LCD screen that flips out. It goes like whoop. And then depending on where you are, you can see yourself. You can see the people. You can see what you're framing. There's so much good stuff that goes on with that flippy screen. It's not just for selfies. Okay. There's a reason that that flippy screen is there. And least, but not last, when you open that flippy screen, that entire back of the camera, I'm sorry, I just bumped you. Did that get, well, whatever. The back of that camera becomes like a heat sink. So those of us that keep that flippy screen closed with a new camera, you're basically overheating the camera on your own. Congratulations. You figured out how to overheat your camera or make it work hot. Okay. So Fuji solved that problem by you open your flippy screen. So far, we could all go along with that. Okay. And then you could buy an optional extra cost accessory. And it's a little box fan, honest to God. And it's got the holes in the right place. And this box fan it's very small. Okay. But it screws right in or clips right on or whatever method they want to put it on. Actually, the back of your camera becomes a heat sink with a fan. So if you get all weirded out that you're going to overheat, then you could just buy that accessory and you can make any of their cameras, Fuji cameras, have a fan blowing on them, whether you're out on Miami Beach or where you're in the Christmas room or wherever you are. And now I hope some of these guys, Nikon, they need to do it stat. What do they say in the hospital? Get me an IV, 25 canes of Lamo-Cane shampoo, whatever it's called, stat. That means on the ball immediately. So that means that they're not going to do that, okay? Because they're not playing the game. I mean, they're not in it to win. They need to get into the game to win. The slots are already been created, okay? You got the $1,500 slot, give or take, okay? 100 up, 100 down, 200 up, 200 down. You got the $2,000 slot, okay? Give and take. You got the $2,500 slot. This is what would go on in a boardroom meeting if I was in a boardroom. I want a whiteboard, and I want all the slots declared. 1,000, 1,500, 2,000, 2,500, 3,000 or 3,300, 3,500 to $4,000. Now, I want you to tell me what cameras we can put in each slot. I don't care about the megapixels. I don't care about the card slots. We will work that out after we figure out what camera is going to fill all these slots. Those are the slots where we have to have inventory. It's like going to McDonald's, ordering a chocolate shake, and them telling you the milkshake machine is broken. Okay? They don't have inventory to sell you when you want to buy that shake at McDonald's. They're notorious for their machines to be broken. It's an inside job, is my belief. I think it's a conspiracy. I think they're doing it on purpose, and I could tell you all about it. There's actually videos about that. I don't work at McDonald's. I just know I'm a professional YouTube watcher, so I watch all these conspiracy theories, and I decide if it's a right or a wrong. Ooh, that tea is so good. All right. So Nikon has the ability to start filling in these price slots. I don't care. What you need to do is you need to put your personal motivation and personal wants and desires aside in terms of creating the camera, okay? Now, you would actually look and see what's at the different price points, and you'd pick out your desires and wants. That's what happened with this camera right here. I looked through. I'm so used to the Canon camera. I'm so used to the Nikon camera. I've been baptized into the Sony camera somewhat. It's still a little bit of a strain, but you know, when you use a camera for 1 or 2 weeks, you get to learn it. So these people that are out there, including me, okay, honestly, these people that are out there, it's like the Sony camera, I don't get along with it, and this or that. If I put a brand new $2,500 Sony camera in your hands, in 2 weeks you'd be singing a different tune. Okay, so that is what we have to look forward to when we look at the A7C Mark II and the A7C R. So Sony is filling in on our whiteboard all these price points. And now the game is who's got more cameras at those price points. So Sony has an A7 Mark IV. Okay, so the A7 Mark IV, what's the price? You guys should know this. It's $2,500. Okay, so where is their weakness on there? Where Canon's same price point, Canon's R6 Mark II's $2,500. Good morning, same price. Is that a coincidence or a conspiracy? Okay, now Sony's entrance into that doesn't give you 60p full frame. Canon's does. Okay, here we have a $2,000 camera. It gives you a crop sensor 60p. That's one of the negatives to this camera. I've used it now. I think I'm on my 3rd week, if not entering a full month. All right. And I'm finding it's not as big of a deal as I thought. I would like to have the full frame at 60p because 60p has a use. There's a reason. There's a functionality for it. And it is not because I like 60p better. No, 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 no. Hello? That's not how you work functions in a camera. I like this better. It's kind of like people that buy a car because they like the color. Should I say more? I mean, I could expand that for another 3 minutes. All right. So I would have preferred the 60 frames per second. Now, I'm assuming that Panasonic is going to take the S1H, put the focus system that's in this camera in the S1H, raise the price, okay? And when they raise the price, the problem with the Panasonic is the weight. The S1H is a damn heavy camera. And I was just going with Sly's, you know, she wants a lighter camera so she can hold it up and do talking head stuff, so that she could go to Dinosaur World and she could actually follow her grandson running around. And the camera doesn't weigh 500 pounds. That's where the A7C, it's a secret. The camera does fantastic quality. It has excellent low noise capabilities. It's got a full frame sensor. It doesn't have a recording limit. It's got a flippy screen. Oh my God, what camera is that? I think I want to buy that. Well, that's the one that is going to become a Mark II, if the rumors are correct. Now, what the A7C does not have is 60 frames per second full frame. I don't believe it has that. I believe it tops off at 30 frames per second. Okay. Now, the E1 that Jerry bought, 181 uplift, I believe that one actually has the 60p in it, and it might, if it's not full frame, that would be sad, honestly. It is what it is. What am I going to tell you? Okay. Wait, there's people I haven't said hello to. So I left off with Sly. She says, I always like the way the Olympus makes you look. Very natural looking. And Woody corrected me on the ZFC, not ZVF. Yeah, I got to keep thinking Kentucky Fried Chicken, KFC, ZFC. So Carlos is here. Hey, everybody. Hey, we're the monkeys. So great to be back in the Christmas room. Yeah, I'm enjoying. I need to make some mugs, okay? And they need to say something. What do you think it should say? Peter Greg's? Or how about I love Peter Gregg's kind of like angular, and then in the big words, Christmas room. Okay? It's got to be a mug a guy could use, because it's like, why would a guy, like I like watching Spencer Lee wrestle, okay? But I'm not going to have a Spencer Lee, that's the name of the guy, okay? Mug, all right? So I got to be careful to make it so that Carlos can use it, Sly can use it, Woody can use it. I love Peter Gregg's, okay, scripty Christmas room. That seems like it would be generic enough where it would be something that anybody can use and not be offended by. That's what I'm thinking. And the reason I'm thinking that is this is like 4 years old, maybe 5, and the white ink is coming off. But it's my favorite mug because it takes a lot more juice in here, a lot more liquids. Ah. So, I lost my train of thought. We were filling the slots for the prices. Oh, the A7c Mark II. So that it needs to have everything that the A7c has now. They need to do some kind of a heat management. I'm tired of like, now we got people like Gerald Undone. God bless him. He's got a section in his videos, how long can the camera go before it overheats? Who ever heard of that before? Honestly, why don't they just fix that stupid point? Fuji did. You could buy a little attachment fan. You open your LCD, you stick the fan on. Now you can't close the LCD. Okay, that's a negative. But now that whole back flat surface, that nice flat surface, see that flat surface? That big flat surface becomes a heat sink. And that heat sink can have a fan on the Fuji, and it snaps on or screws on, whatever method, I don't care, it just goes on, okay? You turn on your fan. I'm assuming it's not sapping battery juice that you probably would put. It would probably be like an LED type of a fan. So you probably would have a double A or a triple A battery in there. And you've got heat control built in to any of the cameras that they make. Nikon needs to do that. Canon, can you please get your head out of your aspirin? Okay, your cameras overheat, damn it. Why are you putting cameras that overheat in my hands? I don't want cameras that overheat. I want back to the 70D, the 50D, the 40D, the 30D. I want cameras that I don't even have to think about overheating. And if it takes an attachment that I can actually buy, so let's say Woody doesn't care if the camera's going to overheat. I'm only picking on you, Woody. Woody has not said this, okay? I'm just picking on Woody because you all know Woody, all right? Or Sly, all right? They don't think of overheating much. I do. I'm overheating because I have my kitchen cameras overheat. I'm cooking in the kitchen. I got an air conditioner on. I'm inside. I'm not in the sun. It's in the 70s. And the ZVE1, the little baby one, okay, overheats. No, I'm sorry. There's no E in that one. It's the ZV1. That overheats. It's overheated on me 2 or 3 times. Now, the people that are watching never know it because I just switched to another camera and I don't tell them, oh, my camera overheated, okay? One of the main reasons I bought this camera is it's got a built-in fan. I don't have to put an attachment. And it's got 3 speeds, an auto 1 and auto 2, and an off. Let's say I would want it off for some reason, okay? And it's built in. No fuss, no muss. Do you think we're going to get heating reports on this camera? They got nothing to hook their teeth into. Even Gerald Undone did his heating segment. The camera didn't overheat in any mode at any time. Okay? The battery runs out, not overheat. Plug it into the wall, it doesn't overheat. So they've made overheating a non-issue on the Panasonic S5 Mark II. That was important enough for me to go, I want to go over there. So I have the Canon R6 Mark II, which actually has full frame, 60 frames per second, and this one, which has crop frame, 60 frames per second. The Canon R6 Mark II you have to be careful with overheating. On this one, you have to not be careful with overheating. I went with this one because of the overheating. I want to say issue, but we need to find topic. That's a better word. Overheating topic. So they have taken the overheating topic off the table on the Panasonic S52, which trumped the R6 Mark II, which Randy just bought an R6 Mark II, okay? And his R6 Mark II has overheated in the car where he's got air conditioning. Now, it doesn't overheat a lot, so they have made forward steps. But if Randy was worried about it, and I'm not saying he is, and I'm not saying he's not, but if he was, he should be able to buy an optional fan that snaps on to the back. One and done. You know? And that's here in the Christmas room. I'm not talking about the unlimited brain power that these camera companies have up on the top floor, where they've got all these suits that are getting paid big bucks, and they go, overheating? Oh, the people, they'll swallow that. And we did. But I'm not. And guess what? My money went to the camera that solved the overheating problem. Not because it's a political statement. It appeased me in my heart. It made it so that I actually enjoy using this camera inside, outside, and the camera is becoming more and more of a joy to use. It's one of those under the radar, just coming up to the radar cameras. People don't take it seriously enough, but it's probably one of the best cameras that, in my opinion, that I could buy, is the Panasonic S5 Mark II. Use my links in the description. Use them even if you're not going to buy anything. Be nosy, like me. I'm nosy. I want to see what comments people have made that bought this camera, or that bought Jerry's camera, the EV1. Okay, the E1, I'm sorry. Got to be careful where you slide that V. It goes in the wrong spot. You got a different camera. So the $2,200 camera, okay, that Sony came out with. So it does matter. So there's two camera companies now that have exciting things to go for. So now, let's say they all come out with good cameras. What are you going to do next? Okay? What I'm going to do next is, because I would like to get out, and I have been getting out. I did a couple of backyard walks in my backyard. And you know something? That's where I noticed this damn camera is heavy. Hello? Well, I never paid attention to how heavy a camera was before. I would shoot with the big Canons, the one with the built-in grip on the bottom and the battery, and it's like, well, it added to the stability of the camera. That was my rationale. When I'm shooting weddings, you know, those lenses didn't have image stabilization. They just started to introduce it back then. So the heavy camera actually wound up being an image stabilizer built in. So I guess I could take a camera and tape a brick to it. I've got image stabilization, but I think taping a brick to the camera is not the smart way to go. That maybe I'm not so clever, but that's just what I'm thinking. Taping the camera to a brick, it might not be the cleverest thing, okay? So now I'm looking at the weight of the camera. I'm looking at the weight. So let's say this Olympus right there, okay? That Olympus is actually heavier, and it's a Micro Four Thirds sensor, okay? That Olympus is actually, just with the camera, the battery, and the card, is actually heavier by a lot more than a little bit. I wish I should have put the numbers down. Than the full frame. So you go for Micro Four Thirds on this guy. I can't reach it. Micro Four Thirds on that guy to full frame A7C, and people are going like, well, the A7C, they took out the second card slot, and they took some buttons off. Bad, Sony. Well, you know what? That camera is sitting in such a sweet spot that it's almost laughable. It's the lightest camera you could buy, basically, of a new camera. Okay, I can't go back a few years when they didn't have all the features they have in them now. Okay, it's one of the lightest. So take a look at anything that's in the $1,700 realm. So that would be anything from $1,500 to $2,000. And I don't care what camera it is, full frame, micro four thirds, as long as we're talking about a professional or a high-end consumer camera. I'm not talking about point and shoots like the Fuji S10 or the point and shoots that Canon has and Nikon has and Sony has. I'm not talking about those, and not the ZV-1, the little with the built-in. No, I'm talking about a full-size camera. You're not buying I want to be a camera. You want to buy a full-size camera, okay? So do a comparison in the weight of the camera, and then figure out what is your favorite lens size. So in here, it's 50 millimeters, or it's become 85. So this camera has got an 85 millimeter. If you read it right here, it's got an 85 millimeter Canon lens on the Panasonic body with a adapter on it. And you know what? It works just marvelous, marvelous. Okay. On this one here, what lens do we have here? An 85 millimeter Viltrox 1.8 lens. You know, it does a fantastic job. And it looks good. It's sharp. The focus, no problems. Don't even have a hint on this camera. No, even a hint that there's a focus problem. And it's not a native lens. But in a way it is. Okay, because the adapter is a Sigma adapter, which is in bed with Leica and with Panasonic. Okay, so let's get back to saying hello. Jeff, how you doing down under? Hi, Peter, and all happy Friday in the USA, or in the afternoon in Brisbane. Brisbane. I like Brisbane. How are you guys doing? I haven't seen Roy, and it would be Saturday, so maybe he's working. Maybe he's got a job. Woody says, I'm mad. Me TV is frozen on Green Acres, and and Woody's going, shut up, Peter. Green Acres is the place to be. Farm living is the life for me. So he says it's stuck on Green Acres, and he wants to watch Hogan's Heroes. Speaking of hero, we have one right here. I was so hyped up for the 75 millimeter 1.2 Viltrox, but found out it's an APS-C. It's a crop sensor lens only. That's for the Fuji. What mount are you looking at it for? Oh, by the way, Hero. Hi, love you. Thank you for being here. So I'm curious what camera you want to put that on. Jeff says, we were watching your live stream as we look at our beautiful grandchildren. That's priceless, honestly. And that's one of the reasons you buy the camera. Now, that's one of the reasons why I'm not looking for the heavy cameras. I would like to pull out an A7C and put an 18 millimeter, a 17 millimeter, a 20 millimeter, 1.8, or up to f4, okay? Because they're so good at high ISO. This guy, not this one, okay? But that guy actually has dual ISO, meaning whatever your noise is at ISO 400 or 640 or whatever the lower band is, it renews itself where it's that good again. And on this particular camera, it's 600 or 640 and 4000. So I'm actually better off shooting at 4000 on this camera, honestly, than I am at 2500, 3200, okay? Because it goes back to being a clean image again. So if I buy, let's say, the Sony, I think it's a Sony 17 millimeter f4, I think it's 220, 240 grams of weight. It's nothing. Okay, so that is what I'm looking at. So let's go. Sly says um, the Lanzi has come out with a fan that does the same thing as the Fuji for any camera with a flippy screen. That's great news. That's worth a video. I'm going to have to do a video on that. Thank you, Sly. That's excellent. You do one too. All of us, or a lot of us in here, are content creators. So Randy says, hi, everybody. Randy woke up. Yay! The two things I want in a camera today is no 30-minute time recording for video and no overheating. The R6 overheated when I had it. So since I bought the R6 II, no overheating ever. I think you overheated once. Okay, but that's Randy's priorities, and you need to have that too. Every one of us needs to have our priorities as to why we pick out the cameras. So, Funnel Fest, good evening, Peter. Nice shirt. Thank you very much. I appreciate it. Mark, it's Friday night, and Mark is here. I think you missed my message. How's it going, Peter? Did I? Let me go back. Wait, let me put a star there. So let me. I have to tell Mark. I love you, Mark. What you doing? Who you with? What is going on? Bum 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 bum. Okay, I don't. Oh yeah, it's up here. Oh, he's saying, "Yo, Peter, how's it going? And what is new?" Thank you, Mark. I didn't realize I skipped your message, so that's not a good thing. If I skip anybody's message, it's not on purpose. Okay, that's not my personality, to be skipping messages, honestly. Plus, I love Mark. He's awesome. I've known him for a couple of years now, so he is such an awesome guy. So, Funnel Fest says, the S52 is overexposed tonight. That's in your opinion. It's not. Okay? Do you know what are those lines called? Not the focus peaking. The one with there's lines, there's no lines. We're not. We're pushing it. I am pushing it right under where the overexposure is happening, okay? But we're not overexposed with the zebras. That's what it's called. So a lot of cameras have something called zebras. And zebras look like stripes. And wherever you're overexposed, the stripes are there. It could be like on this white right here. It doesn't say, it shows you what is actually overexposed. So, of course, my hair is white, okay? There's no zebras, so we're not overexposed. So I am pushing it, and I pumped up the midtones, which a lot of people are not used to because it's kind of like skin smoothing. Now, over here, the Z6 looks underexposed, so I didn't check to see if I'm on the right ISO. It should be ISO 320, so if it's not, it's at the wrong ISO. I don't think the Z6 has zebras on it, though. Randy says the ZB1 Mark II doesn't overheat either. No recording time limit on the video also. That is great news. Big, big, big great news, and that is what I want. Okay, Woody says, you missed my message earlier, too. I was plugging ADORAMA. Oh, thank you. And that is a perfect segue, Woody. If you go to my links under the video, okay, and just go and mosey around and see comments and all kinds of stuff like that. And I'm going back, Woody, to see if I can find it. Okay. ADORAMA gave me full credit back on my credit card for the recent purchase I sent back within the 30 days. Great company to work with. That's what the surprise is, Woody. I was a little bit scared of going over to ADORAMA and not pushing B&H much. First of all, there's a lot more people because I do get the feedback. Okay, that is what the analytics that they allow me to have. I do get the feedback. Do you know 5 times as many people from me go to ADORAMA than they do go to B&H? So I've heard a lot of complaints about B&H lately, and I'm thinking like, oh, sour grapes. But maybe maybe Adorama is the one picking up steam, and B&H is the one that's sliding a little bit. I wonder where the saying comes from. It's not my cup of tea. Because this is my cup of tea. So I got your message now, Woody. And Mark says, I'm beat. Did another engagement shoot. The photos came out great. Only if I could show you. You can. You could show me. I'm a photographer, so I understand the need for secrecy, non-disclosure, and all that stuff. I have photographers sending me stuff all the time. The ones that I even do consultations, I get to see. As a matter of fact, I can't even tell you what I saw, but I saw it. And it is so secretive that I can't even tell you what I saw. So picture something that cannot be ever publicly disclosed. I saw it. And why? Because I am the basically the what do you call it? The mentor of one of the photographers that were hired to that job. So Mark, I hope you got paid good, Mark. And Woody says, I have always used Adorama. Good for you. All right, we've reached 11 o'clock. We're in the middle of the summer, so this is not when I want to do long shows, unless the spirit moves me. I hope the cameras all look good tonight. This one actually has a new LUT that I created the LUT myself, tuning in a lot of little things, and I guess I will be looking back on that. So in a half hour or less now, Sly is going to be going live, and I'll be over there. So I just wanted to say thank you guys for being here with me in the summertime. I appreciate that. I know you guys are going places. You're visiting people. You're taking little trips. So now is the maybe the dead zone, where you don't get a lot of people in the room. You know what I mean? So thank you. I love each and every one of you. Please, I'm asking, use my links in 2 ways. If you're going to buy something, use the links under the video. Okay, I need to make a song up for that. And just be nosy and go looking up stuff in comments, because people are not afraid to tell you what they think. So, and I do that for lenses too, honestly. Like I finally settled in that the lens that I want to get is the 18 millimeter 1.8 lens made by Panasonic. So the Panasonic, I don't know if it's called Panasonic or Lumix 18 millimeter Leica L mount 1.8 lens is the lens that I want to purchase for this camera. I'm going to do something like a clear image zoom, and if I need something bigger, I got all my Canon lenses that just go on this camera beautifully, absolutely beautifully. So please use my links. That's what I started to say before I got sidetracked. And those of you that are doing it, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. It really does. Okay? These companies, they don't, you're a number. They don't give a crap. Okay? So when they see that I'm sending people there, or these people are coming from my website or my YouTube channel, they start keeping score. And I could make them a lot of money, but if you didn't bring the traffic, God made the middle finger for a reason, and that's what they show me. They show me the door. So use my links just to use them. Don't go bananas, okay? Just do it during the week. Oh, I think I'll use one of Peter's links under the video, okay? And I'll go looking around there. I might want to buy a battery, or I might want to see with this lens. I've been thinking of a lens. You know, use the links just to do the shopping. And when you buy something, Jerry, okay, use the link. Guess what? And Adorama gives me 6%, where B&H gives me 1 to 2%. So, you know, you've got stuff going on in the background that a lot of you guys don't even realize is going on. I never knew it was going on, okay? So this is educational for me. All right. I love you guys. Have a good night, everybody. Here is Sly's link right there. You might want to copy and paste it. And I think it's in the comment section. Oops. Or just go over to Sly Reader on YouTube. It's actually the @ Sly Reader, all one word, and it'll take you there. So Sly is saying, have a good night. I love you guys very much. Thank you for being here. It means everything to me that I get, you know, it's like people do YouTube videos and it's like they have to. I don't have to. I get to. And it's because of you that makes it exciting to be here together with you, because I get to do the live shows and the videos. Bye-bye.